Hi, I'm Bill Hodges, and we're about to tape a Sun City Center Community Association board meeting. Now, this meeting will be quite long, so the potential is that it will be more than one part. So when you watch it, look and see whether it's a part 2 or not. This will be designated at the beginning of each. It could even go into part 3. So if you would, please sit back and enjoy. This is a production of Hodges Videos. It is not a production of the CA Board, nor have they any opportunity to edit any materials. This is a gavel-to-gavel production. Any place that I've had to stop the tape, you'll see that, and we'll make a note of it. But all of the comments will be on one of the sections of this tape. Enjoy, and be a part of the Sun City Community Association, because being a part gives us good government and a good association. Enjoy.
Everyone in Hillsborough and surrounding areas. Don't forget you were voted to support the entire community, not just 40 individuals. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you for comments. Mr. Messick, would you use the microphone and announce your name to him?
I thought I did. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Larry Messick and just a concerned tennis player.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Huh?
My name is Jack Betos, and for full disclosure, my wife Nan Betos is a member of the CTC, and she's a tennis player, and I was the president 2 years ago when this first came up, when I thought we had worked it out. I had to resign shortly after that because I was battling a serious cancer problem. But I'm here today because I wanted to let you know I moved to Sun City Center 5 years ago specifically because of the tennis courts and the tennis association and the nice people in it. And I think people, one of the things that I considered when we discussed this 2 years ago was having outsiders see what kind of facility we have for tennis. Because avid tennis players, like myself, I moved here because of this. And I think that by having these women come in from other places, okay, they may be too young to retire now, but they know people that in their club and they can talk about it. There have been, everybody that comes here is very complimentary about our tennis association. Now, I've heard the dissidents say that it's not tennis association responsibility to sell real estate in Sun City Center. I think this is short-sighted. I think it's everybody's responsibility to sell Sun City Center. And I think that's the great thing about the softball group and the lawn bowling group and the horseshoe group and the pickleball group. They all welcome and encourage people to come here to see what we have. And golf. Thank you, Nick. Now, I'll close here. The bottom line is that there will be a few people inconvenienced because they have to play at 7:30 or 10:30 on Wednesday when they wanted to play at 9 o'clock. And I don't understand the problem simply because we're all retired. And if you have to play at 7:30 or 10:30, what is the big deal about that? And it's only one Wednesday, or 36 Wednesdays in a year.
That's 9 months.
All right. Wait a minute.
Yeah, thank you.
Mr.
Thank you. I
He has the
appreciate the
floor.
help. That's about I think this controversy is hurting the whole community, really, because it's been so public, and I think it's kind of silly. There's more important things to worry about than that. And I hope, I'm so happy that you voted down waiting for another vote. The vote that we had last time, remember, we have 225 members of the tennis association.
Can you wrap up your comments, Mr. Paydos?
Yes. And all I can say is 170 of those people have no interest in arguing about what time they're going to play tennis. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
My name is Jean Messick. I live on Danbury Drive.
Can you speak into the microphone, Ms. Messick?
Yes, I will. My family, 3 aunts and uncles, plus my mother, have lived in Sun City Center since the 70s. That is one of the reasons my husband and I retired here. Years ago, when visiting Sun City Center, I observed the camaraderie, easygoing lifestyle, and all over good fun everyone seemed to be having. My family joined many clubs. Members were friendly, and if there was a dispute, it was settled in the meeting room. They were not children. They could handle their own problems within. It was a good place to be, sharing things with people of many backgrounds and mostly with one thing in common, being retired and here to enjoy the remaining years free from hassles and within one community. People from Sun City Center, ones that shared in the building of this great place. No school buses, no door-to-door salesmen, no snow, just enjoying their clubs and facilities with other members of those clubs and of our community. Not people from Brandon, not Bradenton, not Tampa, but people from Sun City Center. People who paid their fair share to live here and support these facilities. That place is no more. Directors, I implore you, let members of the club decide the rules of that club. Don't violate their and your bylaws and regulations just to satisfy a few. Remember, you were elected to serve all 11,000 plus of Sun City Center and not just cater to 40 members. We pay CA dues for the purpose of keeping up the community, our community, for us, not for people outside the community. We who support this community should have first rights and privileges to use our facilities when we want, not after outsiders, not after people who don't pay dues and have no say in our community.
Wait a minute.
Yes, they are.
She has the floor. Let her finish speaking.
I got snide comments.
I don't know. The directors, they're not directed to the directors, and so, go ahead.
What kind of, this goes to prove the point, what kind of place is this where women threaten those who have signed a legal petition and threaten those signers that if they say anything against the women, their boyfriends and husbands will do them bodily harm? My God, what have we come to? Ladies of the CTC, you should be ashamed of yourself. Directors, and you're also to blame. Allow the clubs to make the decisions that affect their activities. Majority rules. At least, this is what I always thought. The simple democratic concept has been taken from us. I believe this board is responsible for the animosity, threats, and strife among us. Remove yourself from internal club matters and run the community, not micromanage every person in it.
Okay, can you wrap up your comments, please?
I ask you to take a hard look at what has happened in these past weeks and months because of the decisions 2 of you have made. Please allow the residents of this community, Sun City Center, our community, to once again live in peace and harmony and be the place my family once knew.
Thank you for your comments. right, you ready? Okay, Tom?
Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the 10,750 people who are members of this association, it's our money, not your money, that provides the courts, maintains them, and looks after them. And if you can't stop behaving like children, we got a serious problem that's much bigger than 2 tennis groups. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Do you have something you'd like to say? Go ahead. Yes.
Yes, my name is Bobby Curtis, and I am a CA president. My husband and I have lived here going on 11 years. We have not doubted our decision in moving here until recently. The debate concerning the handling of the Tennis Association and the CA Board has gone unbearably long. It has affected our quality of life in Sun City Center. Never did I imagine that I would be willing to leave here. Unfortunately, the unwise decisions by your board has robbed me of the joy of being here. Your board is more concerned with showcasing our courts than listening to the majority of the tennis players and concerned homeowners. These young women would not
Can you speak into the microphone, please?
Sorry. These young women would not even consider living here for 30 years, yet they are treated better than the people that pay the CATA dues that support the very courts that they come to play on. My husband and I have been together for 53 years. He has been a deacon, is presently an elder in the church. Never in all the time has he been called a rogue, which your board has called him twice. The president of the CTC has called all of these good men who just want the rules of this community followed bitter men, immature, revengeful. Not once have these men name-called one of them. I have copies of this letter, the one with the most hateful rhetoric. It is carbon copied to one of your board members, the CLD. This board needs to represent the majority of the wishes of the club, not a select few. We've been criticized for writing editorials. May I ask, what other avenue do we have? The CA won't listen. The ED board of the TA mocks them when they attend their meetings. Maybe it is time to take the sound advice that CA President Barnes gave not once but twice, impeach the TA board. I also have 2 papers that I'd like to enter into record, and one of them states about the CTC. We are close to having all the teams come and enjoy our beautiful courts. That says to me that these 3 courts aren't the end, they're only the beginning. The other that I would like entered in is stating that my husband is a bitter man, a revengeful man. I wonder how many of you up there that are married would like your mate disparaged like that.
Thank you. Any other comments?
My name is Dave Curtis. I've been Sun City for 11 years, TA member that whole time. I've been on the board. I want to give the board a little bit of history of how these 10 courts came into existence. The TA was started in 1988. It had 4 courts at Swan Lake. They were paid for entirely by TA funds, no CA funds. The CA removed those courts to build the Kraft building in the early 2000s. The South Campus courts 1 through 4, were put in 1992 with an agreement between the CA and the TA. The CA paid $55,000 on those courts. The TA paid $60,000 for those courts. Courts 5 through 8 were put in early 2000 using LLC money, not CA money, not TA money. It cost the Community Association nothing for those 4 courts. They replaced the Swan Lake courts. Courts 9 and 10 were put in entirely by TA funds at over $30,000 per court at the same time that courts 5 through 8 were put in. Maintenance on the South Campus courts. Last year we paid $8,000 for the maintenance of those courts from the TA. 2 To this date, we have paid $36,000 from our TA funds for maintenance on the courts, and that goes up $1,000 per year by our present contract with the CA. Recently, the TA wanted to expand the height of our fences on courts 1, 4, 5, and 10. The cost was $10,000. The whole $10,000 was borne by the TA membership funds, nothing from the CA. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
My name is Tony Holbrook. I'm a CA member.
Can you speak into the phone, the microphone, Mr.? There you go.
My name is Tony Holbrook.
Good.
I'm a CA member, TA member, and a former member of the board. I played tennis for probably 25 or 30 years. I played interclub back in Maryland for about 25 years. When I came down here, a gentleman and myself organized a competitive tennis league of men. We played for approximately 3 years. We never heard anything about we shouldn't be playing, shouldn't be on the courts. It was only when the women received the courts that there was any opposition. Now, having played at a lot of different tennis courts over the years, it's my experience that interclub play has top priority. Tournaments has top priority. And any other play is secondary to that. When I got here, I was very surprised at the attitude of the people that were here. So I just want you to know that I support the women, and that the men, I think, are just doing a disservice to everybody.
Thank you very much. Yes, sir. Any more comments?
I have a comment.
All right.
My name is Terry Collum.
Could you stand up next to the microphone and
All right.
you may have to tilt it down a little bit.
Tilt it down.
There you go.
My name is Terry Collum, and I represent myself and my wife, Lori. We lived here for roughly 10 years, and we're a member of the TA and CA. We are very much supporters of the CTC and their desire to play here competitively, but we do not support their priority playing time. I have to look at my script. I have a long one and a short one. I'm working on the short one.
Yeah, please. We're running out of tape.
Lori and I are not asking for special consideration. We'd only like to be treated equally with the CTC and their guests, the guests of which do not pay transfer fees, CA fees, TA fees, or volunteers here at Sun City Center. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Okay, we'll go to this side and then we'll come back. Sorry, Bill, I just swinging around like a...
Good morning. I've heard a lot of verbiage.
Would you state your name, please?
My name is Al Demarest. I'm a member of the CA, the TA, and a past president of the TA. Heard a lot of verbiage this morning. I always look for some ray of light in somebody I like to congratulate for carrying out a mission that is meaningful to me. And I would like to acknowledge two of your directors sitting at the table this morning, Ann Cross and Woody Nelson. Two people who saw fit, especially under your rules, where there's any conflict in an association or rulings in conflict of an association, calling for this full board to hear an appeal from the opposite side. I'm a member of what Mr. Barnes calls a dissident minority. We talk and we send emails. Well, ladies and gentlemen, in the democratic process, it's pretty important that somebody stand up and testify when they feel something is wrong and that they have not been treated fairly. I want to call two things to your attention that this board has done in the past, and to my knowledge, has never rescinded, officially or properly. Tennis Association was chartered in 1988, and for 16 years, we operated as a very effective, fairly run, squarely run organization to see that CA members who were TA members and also CA members who did not see fit to be TA members had access to what turned out to be 10 tennis courts, a very fine tennis court facility. Let me read the purpose of the Tennis Association. And these are the bylaws approved by your forefathers at this board table right here. The name shall be Sun City Center Tennis Association, parent TA, an unincorporated special interest group within the Sun City Center Community Association Incorporated, being called CA, a Florida not-for-profit corporation. The purpose shall be to promote and encourage the sport of tennis by A, establishing regulations and procedures for the use of the CA tennis courts, B, establishing liaison with the CA to ensure proper maintenance and improvements of tennis facilities, C, sponsoring such activities as recreational tennis play, tennis tournaments, social activities, and tennis instruction. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that was a big charter. And it was a charter accepted by a fine organization, and it was administered ably and in accordance with the charter to provide tennis play for people here that paid dues, both CA or CA and TA. We took a lot of pride in following our bylaws, rules, and regulations established by the group. Now let me tell you, the group was administered basically on tough decisions by a vote of the membership. Our boards were smart enough and wise enough, when a tough decision came up, it was referred to the membership for a referendum vote. Why so? To be fair and to be just run the show right. It's kind of interesting. There seems to be a feeling that the ladies group, and let me assure you, it's not a persecuted group. One of our sacred bylaws that has been used many times, and properly so, when there's a question, when somebody wants it resolved by the membership, they don't just go to the board, they go to the membership by petition. Now let me assure you, I've been here 10 years. There was never the opportunity taken by this so-called CT formulation group to ever take this to our membership for a referendum vote. Why so? I don't know. They had every opportunity. It takes 15% of the membership to put a petition before the organization for a vote. It's fair and square.
Can
Both
you
sides
wrap
get
up your
to
comments?
testify. Yes, sir, I will. Is this the gong show? Am I going to be gonged here?
Yep.
All right. Well, I've heard some long testimony here.
I know.
Let me tell you what happened in 2007. I've heard two gentlemen who made administrative, executive decisions for both your board and our board without ever really taking it to either group or to the membership for discussion, especially in our case. The CTC was formed clandestinely, very quietly, very secretly. And what did we create here? We didn't create just a competitive tennis club. We created a competing tennis club. Now that's a big word.
Okay,
A big
thanks for
word.
your comments. Come on, let's wrap this
Thank
up
you,
now.
Mr. Barnes. It's been, but I want to say one thing. You made two of our members here made a valiant attempt to have a tabling of this motion until our group had a chance to speak on the 18th. I've spent 17 years in politics, in a city commission, and a school.
Okay,
And this is
thanks for your comments.
This is a power play.
Yeah,
if
thanks
there
for your
ever
comments. We're going to move on to the next speaker. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, hi, my name is Maggie Gazinski. I happen to be a CA member, a TA member, and a CTC member. As you can see, I have come not prepared to speak, just like to make a couple of comments. My husband will tell you that I dragged him here because of the tennis courts, and I think that's probably true because I'm a fanatical tennis player. I have played competitive tennis for going on 20 years. I've belonged to many clubs. These clubs that I have belonged to cost a heck of a lot more than my combined membership dues for the CA, the TA, and the CTC. On one specified day, in all the clubs I've joined, competitive tennis has occurred. Not only have they just used 3 courts, but they usually always used every court the facility offered. Not once did I ever hear any of the other members object to this, because they just knew this is just the way it was, that on Thursdays or Wednesdays or Tuesdays, whatever day it was, we needed these facilities to use. And we have been trying, it seems like we've been trying to get the members from the Tennis Association, the members from the CTC to work together to come up to a solution for this little issue. Some will say it's big, some will say it's little. But it seems to me that for 2 years we can't do this. And that's why we're appealing to the board to finally bring a resolution and a head to this situation that has now appeared. I'm not quoting bylaws, I'm not quoting regulations, I don't know them. But I'm just telling you that I think that there has to be a resolution to this, and I'm hoping that the board can just bring final and end once and for all to this issue. That's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Betty Zeller, and I'm not prepared to speak either, but I just had to say something. You're right, there's only 225 TA members. I'm also a CTC member. There may only be 42 of us, but we are hoping to grow. At any given time on a Wednesday, if 42 of us girls stayed home to play, they would be taking up at least 3 of those courts, probably more. Well, as we do the draw, there may be more. As far as being democratic, well, what happened to the CTC club? Why do we not have any rights, any bylaws? Why is it only the TA? We had to form this CTC club, and it wasn't in secret. It was so that we could play tennis. Like I said, 42 of us girls, we would be playing at home anyway. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So I think that's enough comments from the audience. Do you have something you'd like to add quickly?
My name is Del Ingerson. I've been here 4 years. I'm a tennis player.
Can you stand up the microphone?
My name is Del Ingerson. I'm a tennis player, and I like it a lot. And I got a different problem. It's a very serious problem for me, and this is the value of my house. It's gone down below my mortgage. So I'm going to be in real trouble someday, maybe. And I'm very interested in the values of the houses in Sun City Center going up. These girls have, I believe, 11 venues, one of which is Sun City Center. So the other 10 are people that come here and can see what we've got. The amenities that we've got at Sun City Center are fantastic. I didn't know about it before I got here. If I'd known about it, I would have gotten here sooner. Now, some people said, but the other ladies in this club, in this team, in this competition are young people and they won't live here. Well, they're not thinking very straight, because if they are young, they've got mothers and fathers and uncles and aunts, and they're going to talk so much good about Sun City Center that they're going to bring sales here. And I need sales. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. So, okay, let's go back to the Board of Directors. Director Cross, do you have some comments?
Yes, I do. I'd like to address this to Mr. Wheat. I'd like you to know that at a briefing, when this whole argument came up, or agreement talking about it, I brought up the 501c3 status. And I looked at it and I said, I believe that you did this, or they did it, because of our 501c3 status. And either we are a 501c3 community or we're not. And I was criticized, laughed at, eyes rolled, and told I didn't know what I was talking about. And this is the kind of thing that needs to be discussed. These people need to know this, and this is what I was trying to stress. I do understand your decision. And I just try to follow the bylaws. And in regard to the woman who sent out the email, once you push send, it becomes a public document. And I was at a meeting for, excuse me, I know you're trying to end this, but I was at a meeting and somebody said to me, do you know that there's going to be a motion next Wednesday? Here I am, a sitting director, and I didn't even know about it, but you knew about it on February the 24th. How do you think that makes me feel? I have nothing against any of you. I'm just trying to follow the rules. That's it. It's very simple.
All right. Wait, we're not going to get in a debate here. We've had enough debate. Does any other directors have a short comment? A short comment.
It will be very, very short. I must tell you, I have not sat in a room in 20 years and felt as much passion, as much energy as I have today. I think that we are just going in the wrong direction. I want to go back to the fact that what we're voting on, the amendment, basically is to ratify what was done in 2007. We're sitting here right now. We're having this same passionate result. I still say the solution is for you, for everyone to go back and work this out at your level, and please do not ask the CA to step in and rectify it. It didn't work for 2 years. Why is it going to work now?
Okay, thank you very much. Any other directors have any comments? All right, I'd like to take a roll.
Just a quick comment because of the two that just spoke. We have two clubs, and no one up here likes to step in, but we have two clubs. They've reached an agreement, at least it seems to me they have at the board level, that seems fair and equitable. What we're doing is ratifying that agreement, and I urge my fellow directors to vote for this amendment.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Yes, I also urge my fellow directors to vote for the agreements made by the boards of the two clubs in 2007.
All right, thank you. If there are no more comments by directors, let's have a roll call vote. Well, maybe I ought to write the motion again. Yeah, he's gone to sleep and forgot what we were talking about.
I'm not asleep, Mr. President. I'm in a position that I appreciate both parties, and I find it very, very difficult to make a decision.
Before you do that,
I think I will pass at the moment.
Okay, before you pass, let's reread the motion to make sure everybody understands it. Director LeBlanc.
Whereas the Competitive Tennis Club is an approved CA club and has a right to use the CA tennis courts, and whereas Competitive Tennis Club by its very nature plays competitive tennis against tennis teams that are not CA members, I move that the Competitive Tennis Club be permitted to use the CA tennis courts in competition against non-CA members as outlined in the court use agreement dated March 2nd, 2007, and signed by the presidents of the Tennis Association, Competitive Tennis Club, and the Community Association.
All right, thank you. Now let's take the roll call vote. Director Black.
Pass, please come back to me.
Yes. I had passed.
Director LeBlanc.
Yes.
Director Shanks.
Yes.
Director Griffin.
Yes.
Director Nelson.
No.
Director Long.
Yes.
Yes.
Director Cross.
I don't want any part of this.
Okay, show that she abstains. All right, motion passes. Next motion by Director Long.
Oh, thank you, Mr. President. Whereas the Board of Directors fully supports the principle of fair and equitable use of the tennis courts by all CA tennis players, and whereas the court use agreement signed February 23rd, 2009 by the presidents of the Tennis Association and Competitive Tennis Club appears to provide an equitable solution for court usage by both clubs, I move that the club liaison director approve the February 23rd, 2009 court use agreement.
Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Okay. Directors have any discussion?
Yes, Mr. President. There's been a lot of discussion, and I think I've had enough comments on this. I'd just like to point out that this agreement, as I understand, allows the competitive tennis team to play at 9 o'clock. And I could go through the whole thing. It's actually in the, I think it's in the handout, but that's the general gist of it. And again, I think it's very fair. I think what they're asking for is less than they would have if they divided up the courts on a percentage basis of, taking the 40-some people in the competitive tennis versus the rest of the folks in the tennis association. I think it's a very reasonable agreement that their leadership has worked out, and I hope that we can finally put this behind us. I've heard some comments that they're going to have a vote next week, and the democratic process is what we should respect and so forth. And the problem I have with that is that one club can't vote to put another club out of business. I mean, this is not democracy. What we're doing up here is trying to represent both clubs and all the members of the community, and clearly each club has a right to use our facilities. There shouldn't be any issue about that. Thank you.
All right. Any discussion by any other directors?
Mr. President, we have two clubs here, and we've listened to you, and thank you for coming and giving us your comments. They were inspiring to me. We've got two good clubs. The TA has definitely done a fantastic job of building what we have today. Question is, do they need to share it with other TA members? And I would have hoped that this decision could have been made by you. Had they been made by me, that the time would have been allocated and the CTC would have a lot more 9 o'clock time during the week than they've agreed on. And I think the CTC should be congratulated by letting that course or time be used by the TA. You're all great folks. I'm from a big family. We've had arguments a lot worse than this. We all love each other. And I think that what we ought to think about this and reflect what we're actually doing. Thank you.
All right. Any other directors have any comments? Yes.
I had no idea 2 months ago when I ran for this office how difficult it was going to be for me. I sit here and I look at part of 11,000 in this community, and there is so much anger and so much passion over an issue that I totally must tell you I don't understand. I wasn't here in 2007 when the agreement was written, and that's why I didn't vote for it, because I will not go back and ratify something that I was not ever involved in the first place. I simply can't do that because I wasn't there. Perhaps I would at that time. I don't know, but I can't do it. So please don't ask me to. That I am sure of. The second thing is that I do believe in democracy, and I do very firmly believe that the members of clubs vote from the bottom up. That's what we do as citizens in the United States. That's what we do. That's why we're Americans. Everything comes from the bottom up. Everyone sitting at this table was elected by some of the 11,000 people in this community. And now suddenly what we're doing as a CA board, and it disturbs me incredibly, is that we're trying to fix something. We are fixing it. And we don't really want to ever get into that, because if we become fixers, then that's what we're going to do over and over again. And I wish that I wish I knew the answer. I wish I could give it to you. If I could, I'd hand it to you right now. But what I'm asking you please to do is find a way of working together. If there's going to be a vote on the 18th of March, I would like to see that happen and see the results. I don't care who wins. It doesn't make any difference to me. What I do want to do, though, is that I want to make it fair. Fair, fair, fair. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Director LeBlanc?
I have very little to say at this point other than to let you know that being the CLD of this association is a very, very difficult job. I had hoped that I had acted in fairness to both clubs, and I only want to remind people that we have a Supreme Court of the United States, because when problems can't be solved, they're taken to them. And I don't like to equivocate us to the Supreme Court, but you certainly have had problems that you can't solve yourselves, and so they have come to us. Thank you.
All right, any discussion from any other directors? Any other comments? Comments from the audience? All right, let's have a, okay. Will you use a microphone? State your name again, please.
Reference to Bobby Curtis,
Yeah,
in reference
thank
to Betty Zeller's talk about the scheduling, it's true, if they were all here, they would also probably play here, but they also would go into the lottery system, sir. They wouldn't have priority time. They would have to take the time that was allotted for them to play.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, Mr. Messick? Okay.
My name is Larry Messick, and the last time Mr. Bonds and I and Anne Marie LeBlanc had a conversation, Mr. Bonds asked me if there was some way we could negotiate. Well, we gave him a negotiation plan. Now, I don't know how far that went, but apparently it didn't set well with the CTC people. Now, we're willing to negotiate. They're not, apparently. So if you want to negotiate, come see us.
Believe me, Mr. Messick, we'd love nothing more than the clubs to come together and solve this issue. So, okay, is there any other comments? I think we've dragged this out as long as we can. Let's have a roll call vote on the motion.
While I agree with Mr. Nelson, I will vote for the motion.
Yes.
Yes.
Director Shanks.
Yes.
Director Griffin.
Yes.
Director Nelson.
Thank God I don't have to agree with Mr. Black. I vote no.
Director Long.
Yes.
Motion passes. Okay. All right, so that ends the new business. The next item on the agenda is the Good and Welfare Community Planning. Ms. Cross.
You already talked about it.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so unless there's anything else, this meeting is adjourned. The next part